Awash with allegations of abuse and harassment, Scientology struck resentment into the hearts of once devoted believers. It claims to have 4 million new members a year, but the outside world still knows very little about it. We speak to ex-Scientologists and experts to find out why people join and what happens when they leave.
At the time when you go through it, you think, oh, this is really helping you. And then you come out and you realize that's a load of crap. I have made more progress with a licensed therapist than I ever did with Scientology auditing, without a doubt. It's basically an interrogation.
They are supposed to pay Sea Org members $50 a week. Sometimes you don't even get paid that, and sometimes you didn't get paid at all. I think it's all true.
Are you considered an SP by the church?
I am not.
Do you think you will be after this interview?
I've actually considered that, and I don't really know either way. Honestly, I'm just getting a little tired of feeling like it's still controlling my life. Some people will reach the point where they realize it's a sham. All you're doing is paying millions of dollars to reach these things that they say you can attain, and then you realize I haven't attained them. But then if you voice that you haven't attained them, it's your fault. My mom was pregnant with me. The Sea Org had a policy in place that members who became pregnant, they either had to get an abortion, or if they did not want to get an abortion, they were essentially demoting them by sending them to a lower level church. To the church, they are the only solution to all mental health problems. And if somebody is going against the church, that must mean they are an evil person. Yes, I would. 100%. Don't do it. Stay in Illinois with your family and your friends and finish your high school education and just go to college straight away like a normal outside world teenager would do.
Scientology has no official presence in Glasgow, so we travelled to Edinburgh to check out the building for ourselves and see what the locals thought.
Edinburgh is full of magnificent churches and cathedrals, many of which are hundreds of years old, but not so known as the Hubbard Academy of Personal Independence, and since 1968 has been the home of Scientology in Scotland. Scientology is a religion that was founded in 1953 by science fiction writer L. Ron Hubbard. The basis of Scientology comes 3 years prior in the form of the American author's best-selling book, Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health. The book describes the reactive mind, which stores the negative impact of past events and, if left unchecked, could cause mental health problems. Dianetics and subsequently Scientology provide a solution: auditing, which is where a minister in Scientology uses an e-meter, which is like an early version of a lie detector, to find these negative emotions lurking in the reactive mind and erase them. However, there is no scientific proof that e-meters do this.
Yeah, quite familiar with it. That strange American religion started up in the 1950s by L. Ron Hubbard, I believe.
I have, yes.
I have, yes.
Oh yeah, I'm from the States, so I've definitely heard of it. I'm from the East Coast. There seems to be a bigger thing on the West Coast.
Did it start in America?
It started in America.
An alien came down?
He was a science fiction writer, wasn't he?
You have to pay lots of money and quite controls people.
It's something to do with aliens visiting hundreds of thousands, millions of years ago, and that has something to do with how the world is bad.
Yes, I do.
I think it's a cult, yeah.
No.
I think it should get tax-free status. There's a lot of money involved in it though, however, Catholicism. There's a lot of money involved in that as well, so I don't feel I know quite enough about it to say one way or the other.
So in the U.S., they take religious freedom very seriously because it shouldn't be the government's business what's a true religion and what's a fake religion. So that I'm a little more iffy on.
Absolutely never. Because I've seen what it does to some people, and it just takes over their whole life, and it's a belief system and what have you, and it's just not something that I believe in. So,
No. I think the mark of any faith or religion is that you should be able to walk in and know what the religion's about. I can walk into, a church, a synagogue, a mosque, even if I don't share that faith, someone can tell me, okay, this is what we believe. No one has ever been able to tell me exactly what Scientologists actually believe.
We spoke with one ex-member who claims to have spent 18 years and almost $1 million in the church.
Hi, I'm Kathy Schenkelberg. I'm an ex-Scientologist, and I wrote a show called Squeeze My Hands. What Scientology does is they say, think for yourself. What's true for you is true for you. So I thought, oh, this is great. I can question things, I can disagree with things. But the more I got in, the longer I was in, the more I realized you don't question things. It was about 18 years by the time I got out, and I got declared a suppressive person in 2011. Find out who your friends are when you leave. I was bankrupt. I was on food stamps. I was walking dogs, cleaning houses, and organizing for people. And it was my neighbors and my non-Scientology friends that were leaving food at the door. So when I got in the room, they asked me my name, where I was from, what level I'm on in Scientology. I think of Tom Cruise. And I was like, what? And I said, well, I'm not a big fan. I actually think the guy's kind of a narcissist. Or this singer that was a Scientologist named Brooke who said, how did you do? And I said, I don't know. And she goes, that was an audition to be Tom Cruise's girlfriend. I think he's evil. I think he's a narcissist. I think he's a sociopath. In my dream world, it would be to lose their tax-exempt status and just be wiped off the face of the world.
We spoke to a cult expert to find out what exactly a cult is and why people join.
My name's Ian Howarth, and I'm the founder of the Cult Information Centre. I try and help people become aware of what cults are and how they operate. When we use the word cult, we're talking about a group that has several characteristics. The most important one, though, is that it's a group that uses techniques of psychological coercion to recruit, indoctrinate, and retain members. These techniques are sometimes called mind control techniques, and they're also called radicalization techniques. They're the same techniques we believe that are used to turn someone into a terrorist. We would argue that no one ever joins a cult. People are recruited instead. And so what determines which group you finish up in is who gets to you first. And they will simply invite you to a meeting of some description. And so it's just a matter of walking through the wrong door. And then, if you will, the door closes behind you. And so people are forced mentally into association and controlled from that point onwards. Well, for me, and again, I'm not thinking of any specific group here, but in general, because cults use techniques of psychological coercion to recruit people, people have no choice but to be there. Choice is taken away. In a legitimate religious group, you are there because you choose to be there. Whatever the group is, if it's using mind control techniques to recruit people, it's a serious problem. I choose to be concerned about Scientology, and I've certainly spoken to many people who have expressed concern about its activities. And I think of the concern expressed by Judge Leahy in the 1980s, where he described Scientology as corrupt, sinister, and dangerous. Those are pretty strong words for a judge in the High Court to use.
Stop committing suppressive acts. Full-time suppressive acts. Full-time. You've had zero effect. None, and nobody gives a fuck about you. That's the truth.
We are doing so well. So scary, man.
Nobody has even noticed you're gone, man.
Nobody.
You're nothing.
Hallelujah.
That's the point. You're nothing.
You talked about going for a personality test. I'd like to try to encourage people not to go for a personality test, because it's the first rung on a ladder, and I think the whole matter should be taken very seriously. For whatever reason, if they are interested in considering what Scientology might offer, then I think they also need to look at all the great wealth of information on the internet that is highly critical of Scientology and get a balanced view.
While Scientology isn't the first scandal-struck religion, it sets itself apart due to its secrecy and its offensive strategy towards its detractors.
A mix of self-help, religion and pseudoscience, Scientology has claimed to help millions in their psychological and personal struggles, but for many it's come at a great cost. Money from expensive auditing sessions and donations, friends and family have been labelled suppressive people and potentially real psychological damage for those who really do need professional help. Allegations of abuse, harassment and intimidation are numerous and serious.
The Edinburgh Org refused an interview with us, and their US base failed to reply to our emails concerning allegations made against them by Michelle Reed and Kathy Schenkelberg. If Scientology has any hope of being a respected institution by those who are not members, they must be open, address allegations appropriately, and stop the intimidation campaigns made against those who speak out.
Until then, Scientology remains a mystery and a cause for concern to the wider public, and to those ex-members who are still dealing with the repercussions of leaving and speaking out, a ghost from the past that still haunts them.